What up, guys? Back again with another UFC Fight Picks video. We got the UFC 228 card, Woodley versus Till. Let's go ahead and get started here with these Fight Pass prelims. And yeah, first fight of the night, we got Geoff Neal versus Frank Camacho. Looking at the odds right here, you got Neal as almost 2-1 favorite, so pretty decent sized favorite there. So yeah, my pick here, guys, is going to be Neal. So the reason I'm picking Neal is has very good striking, very good power. He's a finisher, has submission wins also. He's not just a striker. Though primarily he is kind of a striker, but he gets submissions, as you guys saw in his last fight. His opponent, Frank Camacho, is just kind of just a brawler. He does have, I think, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think. Like, he could grapple, but mostly in his fights he just really likes to just brawl. Just lets those hands go. And against Neal, that's gonna be a bad idea. Camacho's not as crisp or as sharp on the feet as Neal is. All he does is mostly just box, and it's not super clean punches. He has a lot of wins by knockout, just looking at his record, but I don't really see much of that power in the UFC so far. So obviously he was just beating lower level competition. He does land a lot of strikes landed per minute, because usually in these fights he's making these fights into a war, because he's pretty durable. He's hard to finish. But I just think Neal's gonna be too quick, too fast. This guy was at middleweight, so now he's at welterweight, and obviously he's just been looking really good. So I like Neal here in this matchup. He has knockout power, has submission wins. I think he's the cleaner striker. So yeah, I'm taking Neal here in this matchup. And Camacho is extremely durable, so I mean, it's gonna be hard to finish him, but I think Neal could crack him. We've seen Camacho hurt, even though he is durable. So I'm taking Neal by knockout. I'm gonna go ahead and say second round KO. Moving on to the next fight, guys, we got Roberto Sanchez versus Jarrett Brooks. So both these guys like to grapple. Brooks, I think, is the wrestler, and Sanchez is the jiu-jitsu guy. I'm opening up both their pages here real quick. Sanchez, I know, looked good in his last fight. Before that, he got tapped out against Joseph Morales in the first round. He tapped out Joby Sanchez, who's a UFC veteran or former UFC veteran. He tapped him out pretty quickly. He got 3 takedowns on him, and then he tapped him out in the first round. So obviously this guy's jiu-jitsu is pretty good, and a lot of people are really questioning Sanchez's wrestling, but I mean, he took down Joby Sanchez a lot, and I think Sanchez has a kind of a wrestling background or a slight wrestling background or something like that. Jarrett Brooks, I think this guy started out as a wrestler. Not too sure. But he does have a lot of takedowns here against Figueiredo. 7 takedowns he landed. Against Shelton, 5 takedowns. So obviously this guy, he does go for those takedowns. His takedown defense on paper looks alright. It's about 67%. His last fight he lost to Jose Torres, but he was actually doing well in that fight. A lot of people thought he was winning that fight. He was doing great in that fight, but he went for a slam takedown or whatever, and he kind of just knocked himself out. So, to me, I don't really count that fight too much as a loss. But, he did lose. But before that, he loses to Figueiredo, who's undefeated, and he's doing pretty good right now. He just came off a good win against Moraga. So, I think Brooks here has good value as an underdog. Obviously, you see Sanchez as the favorite, so obviously Brooks is going to be a plus underdog. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jarrett Brooks here, because I haven't seen much of Roberto Sanchez's stand-up. I got to say it's probably non-existent. Obviously, his submission game is on point. Wrestling looked good in that last fight. Jarrett Brooks, though, I think it's going to be too hard to take down, because I do think he does have a wrestling background. As you guys can see, I mean, he lands a lot of takedowns. He's got to have some sort of wrestling background, even though it doesn't really say anything here. But yeah, obviously, he's well-rounded. I do think Brooks is a better striker, so I'm going to go ahead and take Brooks here, guys. So I don't really see a finish happening here, so I'm going to go ahead and say Brooks by decision. Moving on to the next fight, guys, we got Irene Aldana versus Lucy Putlova. Both these girls throw high volume, both of them high output strikers. Putlova, you know, mixes it up. She's more of a kind of a kickboxer or a multi-striker, whereas Aldana, obviously, guys, if you guys not familiar with, if you're not familiar with her, she's more of a boxer, very boxing oriented in her fights. Great takedown defense here, shown in her stats, 95%. So yeah, both of them, more than likely, this fight is not, you know, it's not going to go to the ground. So, as you guys can see, Putlova doesn't really say too much about her skill set there. But, I mean, as you guys can see right there, she's coming off 2 wins. She beat Sarah Morris, who's a grappler. Beat her by decision. She beat Ji Yeon Kim, who I think is another kind of a high-volume striker. And then she lost that fight to Landsberg, but a lot of people thought Putlova actually won the fight. Or, well, I know she kind of beat her up in that fight. So, yeah, that fight was close, whatever. Aldana, she is coming off a win here against Talita Bernardo, who really isn't that great. Before that, she loses a split decision against Chikagian, and then she loses against Leslie Smith. But yeah, this is going to be a stand-up fight, and I'm just going to go ahead and take who I believe is the better stand-up fighter, which is Aldana. She's a very slight favorite, -125, so obviously the odds are pretty close. It's almost a pick 'em here. But I got to think Aldana here, just going to have the better hands, which I'm pretty sure she does. Also, I mean, she has went for a takedown before, so maybe she can mix it up there also. Putlova is probably the better kicker here, but yeah, I just got to take Aldana here in this matchup. So I'll pick Aldana by decision. I think she's just going to be able to box her up and win like that. So moving on to the next fight, we got Jim Miller versus Alex White. I wonder who Miller lost to in his last fight. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Miller here is on a losing streak, and Alex White was looking good at 155, but I think he just lost to James Krause. And the odds here, you got, I'm pretty sure White is going to be a favorite. Yep, -225. So obviously everybody's already writing off Miller, which I'm probably going to do. Yeah. So he's on a 4-fight losing streak. Last one was against Thiago Alves. Yeah, so this guy's not obviously not look great. You know, he's been losing fights. He lost to Poirier. But the guys he's losing to are pretty high level. Hooker, one of these up-and-comers. He got knocked out by him. So that was actually pretty brutal, getting knocked out. Before that, he loses to Trinaldo. He loses to Pettis, former champ. Loses to Poirier, who's on a tear. So he's not losing to you know, crappy guys or anything like that. Alex White, this guy's more of a just a striker. Primarily, you know, likes to box. Kicks here and now, every now and then, I mean. But yeah, he did have a good win against Mitch Clark. Before that, or after that, I mean, he loses against James Krause. So obviously this guy, he mostly loses if you grapple against him. James Krause is able to get takedowns, but I think he even had Krause hurt a couple times in that fight or something like that, from what I remember. Tony Martin also won with the grappling. So you got to grapple against Alex White to win. Alex White working on the takedown defense. Jim Miller just not looking great at all lately. I think Miller has a shot to win, but it has to be like a first-round finish. So, but I don't really see it happening. So I got to take Alex White here in this matchup, guys. He's just younger. You know, Miller's just one of these old veterans. You know, he's declining, and I see Alex White possibly getting a finish here. He's a finisher, and Miller just got knocked out. So I'm taking White. I'm gonna go ahead and say second round knockout. All right, guys. So moving on now to the featured fight on the Fight Pass prelims. We got Diego Sanchez, fan favorite here, versus Craig White. So Craig White debuted against Neal Magny. He lost that fight in the first round by knockout. He is a finisher. All his wins are by finish. He has 8 losses, so he's not the best fighter, but he didn't look too bad against Magny until obviously Magny just kind of hurt him in the clinch, and this guy just dropped on his ass, and then Magny just finished him on the ground with some punches or whatever. But obviously he's fighting against Diego Sanchez, so that's gotta give him a boost. Sanchez is, let me see. Well, you know what, guys? For that last fight, when I was looking at the odds, I actually thought White was the negative 225, but I looked at that wrong. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, this actually, Craig White's a bigger favorite than Alex White is against Miller. But I still agree with the odds there on White versus Miller. But yeah, anyways, obviously the odds, they're against Sanchez. Sanchez, obviously, guys, this guy's been losing. He's been getting finished now also. First he got knocked out against Lozon, and then everybody just been able to knock him out. You know, if you've been able to pretty much strike with him. Marcin Held, he's not a striker, so that's just a perfect matchup for Sanchez, and he was able to win that fight. Also, that was at 155. So yeah, now you got Sanchez at 170, so this is a lot different. But yeah, anyways, he gets knocked out against Ale Quinta pretty quickly in that first round. Gets starched against Matt Brown. I want to say Brown hits him with an elbow or something like that. I think it was an elbow, but whatever. He knocks him out also in the first round. So Craig White isn't as good as a striker as either Ale Quinta or Matt Brown. But he is a finisher, and he has shown that he has knockout power. Obviously, since he has knockout wins, and I mean he hasn't. Craig White has not won a fight by decision, so you got to think, you know, Sanchez is getting old, he's getting finished, and he's fighting against a guy that finishes fights. And I don't think Craig White's that great, but obviously, I mean, Sanchez passed his prime here, and he's getting knocked out. So I got to pick Craig White here, guys. He's a way better grappler than a striker, but Sanchez actually has some good grappling, even though he doesn't really use it in his fights anymore. You know, he just mostly likes to brawl. So I gotta think Craig White's probably just gonna have to hurt him on the feet, and then maybe take it to the ground and get a submission, or he'll just smash him on the feet. But I do see Craig White getting a finish here, guys. You know what? I'm gonna have to say probably by knockout, even though Craig White does prefer the submissions. Yeah, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say by submission, guys. Even though the knockout is there, I'll say Craig White by submission, guys. Second round submission. I think he'll hurt Sanchez, and he'll just catch him with a choke or something on the ground. He'll take him down on the ground, whatever, and he'll get a second round submission win. If not, it's gonna be a second round knockout. But either way, I think this fight is gonna get finished, and I think Craig's gonna get the win. So yeah, Craig White, second round submission win. Moving on to the FX prelims, guys. We got Charles Byrd versus Darren Stewart. So Stewart, this guy's a knockout artist. A lot of knockout power. He's fighting against Charles Byrd, a guy who, you know, can wrestle, can strike, and he has submission wins. I think Charles Byrd was a striker or a multi-striker. Let me just look at his background here real quick. So this guy came from the Dana White Contender Series, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, summary multi. Yeah, Contender Series. He has 2 submission wins, one in the first round, one in the second, and then another one in the first round, but that's a UFC fight against John Phillips. I don't even know who that is, but whatever, he won that fight. Yeah, so obviously this guy has a multi-background. I don't think this is the guy that fought at Glory or whatever. I know they were talking about a striker like that in the Contender Series, but anyways, Byrd, good striker, and he has wrestling, and he got submission wins. So that's Darren Stewart's weakness, which is the submission game. So you guys can see there his last losses. His last fight, he actually did get the win against Eric Spicely. He knocked him out. That fight, I remember I think I picked Spicely in that fight because I thought he would be able to get a submission, but Stewart knocked him out. But that was kind of almost a 50-50 type of fight. In this fight, I'm pretty sure Byrd is the favorite. Yep, negative 225. So yeah, guys, I'm picking Byrd. Like I said, I think he's the better striker. I don't think he has as much power as Stewart, but he's the better striker. He has wrestling, and he has a good submission game. So he has like pretty much every single tool you need to beat Darren Stewart, especially that submission and wrestling game. So yeah, I'm taking Byrd. Probably, I'm gonna say, I think it's gonna be a fast start. So I'm gonna go ahead and say first round submission. I think Stewart's going to try to get him out of there quickly, and Byrd's going to try to get that takedown. So, especially if he feels that power. So, I think Byrd gets the first round submission win. Moving on to the next fight, guys. Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson. So, I'm not too sure who Dodson fought, so I'm going to check here. I'm pretty sure Rivera's coming off that that knockout loss against Moraes. Let's double check here real quick. So you got Rivera as, yeah, slight favorite. That makes sense to me. I do think he's overall here the better fighter. But let's go ahead and just take a look at their last loss or win, whatever, last fight. Yeah, so yeah, he hasn't bounced back from that loss against Moraes yet. So he's fighting Dodson, a guy who has power, but he hasn't really shown it. He hasn't really shown it lately. This guy, mostly when he wins, he's just trying to outpoint you. He just wins by decision, split decision, whatever. But yeah, Dodson, guys, this guy doesn't, doesn't really have that knockout power here from what I'm seeing. I mean, maybe he still has it, but, he just hasn't used it, I guess, or whatever. And Rivera is coming off a fresh KO, so that's kind of like, it's kind of a worry that he just got knocked out in his last fight, and now, he's fighting Dodson. He could get slept again, but the way Dodson's been fighting, guys, I don't see it happening. So yeah, I just think this fight's going to be kind of a striking battle. Dodson won a fight against Munoz, split decision. Then he loses to Moraes, split decision or whatever. But yeah, I just think overall Rivera's the better fighter. I think he's a better striker. His chin looks, I think his chin's all right, but he has been hurt and he has been knocked out now. So, like I said, that's a worry. But Rivera, I'd say, has the wrestling advantage, and he's a way better striker. The grappling or the submission game here is pretty much out of the question. Both these guys probably ain't gonna grapple much. Dodson, like I said, this guy's just fast. He's just gonna try to outpoint you, whatever, move around, trying to make it hard to hit him, trying to just beat you on points. But I think Rivera here is gonna be able to bounce back. So I'm taking Rivera, guys, and I do see the fight going to decision. Moving on to the next fight, Sterling against Cody Stamann. So I like this matchup here for Stamann. He is the underdog here, so I like that. You got Sterling at -130. So Sterling looked pretty good in his last fight against Brett Johns, who was a prospect. He was coming up the ranks. He was undefeated, and Sterling was able to beat him pretty cleanly. So now he's fighting against Cody Stamann, who had a split decision win against Caraway. Because, well, Caraway pretty much made that fight into a close fight, but Stamann did land more significant strikes and whatnot. But yeah, Stamann's hard to take down. Very high takedown defense, 92%. Sterling obviously depends on the takedowns to pretty much win his fights. He doesn't really win fights too much on the feet. So, he needs to really link up the wrestling. Or he needs to use the wrestling first, then use the striking for him to pretty much win. So I think the wrestling here is going to get canceled out by Stamann's really good takedown defense. On the feet, I really like Stamann. He has good striking, very high output. So I really like him on the feet. The only problem is that, he has crappy reach. He's going to have 64-inch reach compared to Sterling's 71-inch reach. So that's going to be kind of a problem. But at the same time, I think Stamann's going to still be able to get inside and land his shots. So I like Stamann here, guys. And I see him getting a decision win here against Sterling. Sterling looked good his last fight. So, kind of don't really want to count him out. But Stamann's an underdog. So I got to take the underdog here. Plus, I really like Stamann. So, if he's the underdog and I like his chances even more, then for sure I got to play him, right? So, yeah, I'm picking Stamann by decision. Moving on to the next fight, Carla Esparza versus Suarez here as the featured fight on FX. So I like Suarez here, guys. I mean, she's pretty much the female Khabib. Pretty sure a lot of people said that on Twitter or whatever. But yeah, I mean, look at her grappling, guys. Very high takedown average. I don't know. I think that's the takedown average. I think that's per fight. I think I'm not even too sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 takedowns average per fight. And her takedown accuracy is really damn high, 81%. Well, actually, pretty much almost 82%. So, yeah, she's pretty much always getting the takedown, and Esparza can be taken down. So Esparza, obviously, she's a wrestler, so it's almost like you're fighting against your own style, except that Suarez is a lot bigger, a lot stronger, a lot rangier, and she also has more strikes landed per minute. So, I mean, all of this is pretty much showing that Esparza should lose this fight. Esparza did look pretty good, actually, in her last fight against Claudia Gadelha. I think Gadelha won by split decision, but yeah, actually, Esparza did really good against Gadelha. She damaged her yeah, she did really good against Gadella. So she really surprised me in that fight. And it was kind of like the similar odds here. I think Suarez is actually a bigger favorite than Gadella was, but it's similar. It's similar, so it's close. So obviously Esparza, you know, she's coming off a good performance, even though she lost, even though some people thought she won, whatever. But yeah, guys, Suarez she's gonna be too strong, and she's just too big, and she does what Esparza does, but I think she does it better. So I mean, I gotta take Suarez here, guys. Plus, I think she's also way better on the ground with her submission game, which is how she's finishing fights. So yeah, I mean, it sucks to pick against Carla Esparza, because you know she's coming off a good performance. But yeah, I gotta be smart, and I gotta take Suarez here. So I'm gonna take Suarez. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'll say just by decision. I'll say by decision. All right, guys. So now we're on to the main card. We got Abdul Razak Alhassan versus Niko Price. So Alhassan, this guy is knocking everybody out in the first round. He has a judo black belt, I believe, or a judo background, whatever. And he has really good multi, really good striking, excellent power. In his last fight, he got a really good first round knockout win where he landed a clean uppercut. Yeah, he had a good performance in that last fight. His takedown defense is, I think it's kind of suspect. His one loss is to Amari Akhmedov, a Russian guy who, you know, he has good takedowns, whatever, and he took him down a lot of times. And I know Alhassan has that judo background, but I don't know if I'm really, you know, seeing too much of that takedown defense though. So that could be a problem here against Price, a guy that can grapple. He has submission wins, and he does go for takedowns every now and then. So that could be a problem. But obviously the striking guys, Alhassan is for sure the way better striker than Price, even though Price has power. But Price is very hittable. You know, I think his defense isn't that great. So since he's hittable and his defense isn't that great, you know, he's gonna have to fight. He's gonna have to take the fight to the ground pretty quickly, because Alhassan has that knockout power and he hits hard. So I mean, he's whenever he wins, he's knocking you out, and it's gonna be in the first round. So yeah, I mean, this is how this guy's winning his fights. So yeah, more than likely, Alhassan's probably gonna get the first round KO win here, guys, since that's kind of like the trend. But Price, I mean, he's a pretty good underdog, guys. He's the underdog here in this matchup. There it is right there, plus 125. So I hate to count out Niko Price, especially how he had that really good win in his last fight against Randy Brown, where he got that, what was it, a hammer fist knockout off his back or whatever. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. But yeah, Price is decent. I was really starting to count him out a lot because I didn't really see, you know, anything that really stood out from him. But you know, he has power and he's a finisher. So you know, it's a good fight here. But I gotta take Alhassan because I think the striking is gonna be too much, and I know his takedown defense looks crappy on paper, but I mean, I gotta think he's gonna come in here with more improved takedown defense. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just take Alhassan, first round knockout. But don't be surprised, guys, if Price somehow gets it done. All right, guys, moving on to the next fight. Hold up, let me drink some water. All right, that's good. So anyways, you got Andrade versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. It's kind of an easy fight for me to pick, guys. I got to take Andrade. She's pretty much the girl I'm always picking here at 115. I'm always kind of just picking her. She's just a damn animal, you know. She's just a beast. She lands a lot of strikes. Obviously, almost 6.5 strikes landed per minute. Very high takedown average. She gets those takedowns also. And she's very strong for this weight class, so she's just very hard to beat. And I think Karolina here is gonna struggle against Andrade. I think she lost also against Gadella, who I would say is, well, obviously Gadella got, you know, beat up by Andrade, right? Like she got out muscled by her. And yeah, see, as you guys can see, Gadella actually beat Karolina in the first round by submission, where kind of Gadella did something similar to what Andrade did to Gadella, where she just kind of just dominates her with that, you know, that physicality, that physical presence. And then yeah, she was able to get that first round win against Karolina. But now you got Andrade versus Karolina, and I think Karolina's, you know, she's a good striker and whatnot, good volume, but she doesn't got that finishing ability. You know, she doesn't got the submission win. She doesn't got the knockout power. I mean, she has what, maybe like 1 or 2 finishes, or maybe like 3 finishes, whatever. But mostly she's winning by decision, and I don't see her really doing too much against Andrade. I think Andrade's gonna be too much, just gonna be too much. You know, too much volume, too much strength, whatever. And yeah, she's just gonna be able to get it done. So I gotta take Andrade here, guys. I don't know if she's gonna be I think she might be able to get a finish here, but I mean, I know Godella got a finish, but she's more, you know, she's a lot better on the ground than Andrade is as far as like submissions go. So you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say just Andrade by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if she gets like a 3rd round knockout or something like that. So yeah, Andrade by decision. Moving on to the next fight, guys. We got Zabit, Magomedsharipov versus Brandon Davis. So very easy fight for me to pick. I gotta take Zabit, guys. This guy has just shown that, you know, he's just an animal. He's a finisher. 15-1 record. He's big for the weight class also. But yeah, man, he's just a beast. His chin is pretty solid. Brandon Davis, he's a good striker, good multi-striking. But I just see Zabit dominating this fight almost wherever he wants. But I think he's going to take it to the ground. He's going to be smart, take it to the ground, use that grappling, and just, you know, smash Davis on the feet, or on the ground, I mean, and possibly get a submission win. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Zabit by, I'll say 2nd round submission, guys. 2nd round submission. Alright, so moving on to the co-main event, we got Montano versus Valentina Shevchenko. So obviously the odds here, if you guys are not, you know, paying attention lately, yeah, Shevchenko's a huge favorite, biggest favorite. I mean, this is the first time I think that the champion has been such a big underdog against a challenger. So I mean, that's got to tell you something right off the bat. I just don't think Montano's that good. I mean, she almost lost to Roxy. And Roxy's, you know, she's a veteran, whatever. You know, she's been getting better, but yeah, she's not, you know, she ain't no Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko's just too well-rounded, way better striker. You know, really good multi-striking. Has no, you know, durability issues, no chin issues. Not that she really needs it anyway against Montano. But anyways, whatever. Shevchenko, you know, good durability, really good, excellent striking. And also a really good ground game. You know, she has good takedowns, good wrestling, and good submission games. A good submission game also. So she's just, you know, just too well rounded. It's almost like, you know, Shevchenko should be the champion, and, you know, Montano should be the challenger. So, and the odds should be reversed for that. So yeah, I think Shevchenko is pretty much, you know, the uncrowned champion here. She's gonna take the bout away from Montano. Yeah, I just don't see how Montano here is gonna be able to win this fight. Yeah, I mean, the odds, they're just, that's huge odds right there. That's like some cyborg odds right there. So yeah, guys, I'm taking Shevchenko. It's pretty much a very safe very safe pick, very safe win here. And, you know, I think Shevchenko has a chance to maybe even get a finish here in this fight. I think it's going to be hard for Montano to actually hang all 5 rounds with Shevchenko. So I'm going to go ahead and say Shevchenko probably is going to get the finish here. So I'll say Shevchenko's going to win. I'll say 4th round knockout. And that's going to be my pick for that. All right, guys, we're moving on now here to the main event. We got Tyron Woodley versus Darren Till. So I'm a big Darren Till fan. Obviously, I got to say that right off the bat. Maybe a little bit biased here on the pick, but I am picking Darren Till. He just obviously has really good striking. He's extremely confident in his fights. He's undefeated. So he has, you know, excellent multi, very good striking. He has a very good straight left, you know, very good 1-2. Good take on the fence also, which is what you need against a good wrestler like Woodley. Obviously, Till is not going to try to wrestle Woodley, so he doesn't have to mess with Woodley's really good take on the fence. Kind of like how Maya did. I think Maya was just, you know, perfect matchup for Woodley. You know, someone that isn't really too good on the feet and someone who can't really take you down. So yeah, I think Woodley here. I just think Woodley here is, you know, he's on the end of his reign here, obviously for his belt. Yeah, I think Darren Till's gonna be able to win this fight, guys. He's the better striker. Good take on the fence. He's extremely confident. He's a lot bigger also than Woodley. He's a lot physical. I mean, he's not as like, he's not as muscular as Woodley, but he has a really big frame and he's very strong. He's a big welterweight. A lot of people think he should be fighting at middleweight, and he even said he's like, like a light heavyweight at welterweight or whatever. But yeah, this guy cuts a lot of weight. He's gonna be bigger than Woodley, just frame wise, not muscular size, because Woodley, he has a lot of muscle on him also. But yeah, the only way Woodley here is really gonna be able to win the fight is if he catches Till with a really good right hand and puts him down, or if he's just able to keep on taking Till down to the ground, which I don't really see it happening. Woodley, this guy, his gas tank, I think it's been improving, but I think it's still an issue. So yeah, I think his gas tank here is going to be able to fail him if he is trying to go for that game plan where he just kind of just wrestles you, whatever. But yeah, Darren Till, this guy could get off the ground. I don't think he's going to be able to just take him down and hold him down, man. Darren Till here, like I said, he's big for the weight class. He's going to be able to get back to his feet. And I don't think Woodley has the gas tank to really just keep on pushing that wrestling on Darren Till. And obviously, like I said, on the feet, Woodley really just has that right hand. He has power, but yeah, I mean, Darren Till, he's just too good on the feet. He's just way better of a striker. So yeah, I predict Darren Till to win. Probably, I'm gonna go ahead and say 3rd round knockout, guys. Like I said, Woodley's gonna try to take him down. He might be able to get a couple of those takedowns, but after that, he's gonna start getting tired. And as the rounds go on, after that first round, he's already on low energy. After the second round, he's starting to get tired, and that's where Till's gonna be able to take advantage. And obviously by then he should be able to stop the takedowns way easier, and just be able to just piece up Woodley on the feet. So yeah, guys, I'm taking Darren Till. Whatever you might say, it's a biased pick, but yeah, I think he's gonna be able to get it done. So yeah, I like Darren Till. And yeah, 3rd round knockout. That's gonna be my pick, guys. Alright, guys, so that does it here for me for my UFC 228 fight picks. Let me give you guys my most confident picks. Obviously, we got Shevchenko. She's my most confident pick for obviously a big reason. Followed by Zabit, and followed by Suarez. So those are my top 3 most confident picks. If you guys wanted a little parlay or whatever, I'd say those are all very safe picks. Maybe Esparza could get something done, but I don't really see it happening. Like I said, Suarez is going to be too big, and she just does what Esparza does, but I think she does it better. So yeah, Shevchenko, Zabit, and Suarez, all very safe picks, and those are my top 3 most confident picks. Least confident pick would have to be, let's see, who's it going to be? Least confident. Yeah, it's going to have to be Al Hassan, maybe. Yeah. Least confident. Yeah, give me Al Hassan, guys. I think he's going to be my least confident pick. Why? Because whenever I pick against Niko Price, this guy's hit or miss. Sometimes, you pick against Niko Price like I did against Vicente Luque, and, Luque pieced him up, whatever, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And now Niko Price is looking good again. So, I do see Al Hassan winning, but I would say, who's my least confident pick? It'd have to be Al Hassan, only because Niko Price, this guy's dangerous, and, he's always a threat. So that's going to be it there, guys. So for my picks, what else? Yeah, actually, I think that's going to be it, guys. So hope you guys enjoy the fights. I did this video very early, so obviously a lot of people could watch it. And, yeah, hopefully, all these picks come out pretty good. But yeah, guys, post your picks below in the comments. Let me know who you guys picked. Check out the links below in the description. If you guys play DraftKings or whatever, got some links below. But yeah, support the channel. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll go ahead and keep them coming for you guys. So that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and catch you guys on the next video.